Hi, so before we start the teaching, we will do our refuge and generation bodhicitta prayers, and that can be found on the page 7 of the prayer book, refuge and generating bodhicitta. Let's do it together. Sangchudan tsuki chonam la changchu bardu dani gapsu. Sangye chodang tsogi chonam la changchu bardu dani gapsuchi dagi jin soki be tsoknam ki drola pincher sangye drubarasho chodang tsogi chonam la changchu bardu dani gapsuchi dagi jin soki be tsoknam ki drola pincher sangye drubarasho.
Aneta taringa telle bata tsarni bachadere and samalata tishtil shui.
This is my second time that I'm in the TBC, so I will use this opportunity to say Tashle to all of you.
And tarinta chojadi any tashingi kor nisheche.
Today the topic of my teaching will be on Pureland, so I'll be speaking on Pureland.
Ta tashingi kor la kijishi undu zane di tashingi kor kijadi Nikkewa ngaji ke malenge da ta lejunde ke malenge da tindilla ta tashingi kor kijishi kor yomarda.
So when we talk about Pureland practice, if you do not have any belief or faith in past and future lives or in karma and effect, cause and effect, then there's really nothing we can talk about the Pureland practice.
Ta kewa ngaji da ane tindigi namsha ke lengi ji ne ane karsigure ya kewa le kawa le male raon thap dengi na tila tashingi je de ko hai ke merda.
So even if you accept that there's past and future lives and you accept the law of karma, but if you're someone who has got freedom over over your future rebirths, then it is also not necessary for me to talk to you about Pureland.
Ta tashingi kor la ya ane kijishi di tashin kanti yimba tilaje thapshe kanti yoba tuzu kor di choching ne sheba inani lela bushirare. Yang cho shindaji ne tawa inani halebe kale khavore.
If I were to talk about Pureland, about what is Pureland, where it is, and what kind of methods can we employ to be reborn there, on one hand, it is easy for me to talk about such topics. But on the other hand, I can also say that it is difficult for us to talk about it.
Ta kasigure kale khavo kharchin resena ta toni sini ta kale khavo shivushe die phajo shenge die yabushingi yobachila nyenge di ribo yabuji yobayina kala kanzon dishi japtugor ene chindi be sorobo ribo yabu yungijila toni dishi japtu kala kanzon dishi japtugor.
Why is it difficult to talk about Pureland? Because, take for example, the view of emptiness. It is said that it's difficult to talk about the view of emptiness. Why? Because the person who talk about it, this person must possess some kind of knowledge in terms of this topic, emptiness. And also for the listener, this listener must have got certain intellectual capacity. Then, when you talk about the view of emptiness, it is possible to have a meaningful conversation, just like, when it comes to talking to scientists. So they have got very good intellectual capacity. So the conversation will be more meaningful.
Tishi jawo chuna nge la al tangbo khore ne jawa nga chi tishi jawo dile kange chi tewo ta jawa nga chi tishi jab ne ha go change chi le ta shine yang company ba lendel tishi jawo de dele jang ta thabu cha mo ani lendel tishi jab change chi gi mi chi la ani shine ani kyumseng gi thone ki ji shena shesa yue de ba chi dile disane ta ko kale khabu ji cha mo ta de.
So when we talk about Pure Land, if we have to talk about it from the perspective of logic and reasoning, then first of all, we need to establish that there is past and future lives. So after having established that, for someone to then acknowledge that yes, there's past and future lives, then the next step will be to talk about the law and karma and effect. Then the next step is then to use reasons to establish that there is Pure Land. So if you look at it in this process, the sequence that to go through, it is quite difficult.
다 레라오레세 가르스나 아니 돈이다 디조이나 다 수수 오네라 삼로 땅네 리베기 제네 아니 파게티 중나마도 디메나 같이 대바 연에 코 알레 돈이 가리 벌로로 거르샤로 지금 돈이세 동상상지 셔되기를 다 메다 수수 돈이 오네디 가리 바 알레 로로 거르샤레 갈리 가부차데요 리보메나.
So why do I say that on one hand it's easy to talk about Pure Land? Take the view of emptiness, for example. The view of emptiness is something that we ourselves have to use our own intellectual capacity to analyze what is emptiness. And only from that analysis do we then get some form of results or realizations on what emptiness is. It is not something that out of pure faith we can have some idea of what emptiness is. If you only have pure faith and you want to understand what emptiness is, it's probably difficult for you to even have some sort of image or some sort of understanding on what emptiness is. So that's why it is difficult.
이니 더 신기 거디 롤러 차례 갈래하고 개 말해 tum시부터 우시에요.
But when it comes to Pure Land, for it to come to your mind, for an image or the appearance of Pure Land to come to you, is not difficult. It's like telling you a story of how Pure Land is like.
다 갈래하야디 이시게디 갈래하고 차디 거다.
But what is difficult is for you to arise the kind of faith and belief in your mind stream.
딜라디 다 미릭지 금생기 제수마탕 바체 다 상지기 송샤 상지기 송라다니 이지 제딩이 드즈기 딘데 이지 제딩이 드즈 띠깔레시라게 말와 이지 제번은 신지기 라렌디 깨나 띠께 두고 제선다 레라고 차도르야.
So therefore, for one type of person who does not really follow the logic and reasoning, so they basically just rely on what the Buddha has spoken. So by relying on the Buddha's words, it is easy for them to then believe that there is Pure Land and thereafter practice on the Pure Land, and therefore I say it's easy.
나다보이나 당분이는 친이 다 랍제 디체샤로 친이 랍디전에 다 디워고야 디워든 참말라 제바치는 저의 금시디 자사도 전에 김제마통보도 이치에 데스칼레 하고체 안 김생 최고 뒤전에 에너지는 공부치 양 로카시 첼량 공부치 저 디체사딘 참찬라 디 숍즈 하고 차디 미단다 다 김제마통 대화체 등이 여러 참찬라 콘솔이 이미지인 듯이 대 레라베톤의 대화체 디 라렌타르샤는 된다도 주루고라다 이 당신께다 젤니키지 시오나.
Take myself for example. Well, I've studied Buddhist philosophy, so in the course of my study, we often pose one another questions and we analyze the questions to arrive at the answers. So because of the way I've studied, so my sort of habit, it is to analyze things. And therefore, for me, if I do not see the reason for a particular situation, it is very difficult for me to arise faith and belief in my mind stream. So, but for me to see the reason, then there will be many steps that I need to go through in order for that faith or belief to arise. So, sometimes I do have some sort of admiration for people who are able to arise faith in the mind stream very easily without seeing much reasons. Because when it comes to the Pure Land practice, faith is very important and it's so easy for them to arise that kind of faith that is difficult for me to have.
이내 다 타르바 좀 시키지 쉐바이나 제선다 치료베게 타르바 남베게 타르바 남베게 주탄 남편중기 타르바 제시 제거래 디지디 전에 회기 통대바 나로래 카시 남바 카시 사메디다 타바든는 얘기 쌈 타바 문진 제단데 치료베게 문제 제단의 신체 딘딜레 용도 just Tikadu di Valedi Yan Rigvadi Mena, and Deva Changbagita, Geshe Shida, Mevatore, Taba, and Sanjay Govan to Geshe on the.
We talk about wanting to attain liberation. The non-Buddhists also, one of their objectives is also to attain liberation. So their definition of liberation and our Buddhist definition of liberation, and also within the tenets, the different schools have their own different definition of liberation as well. So from what I can see is that sometimes we say our objective is to attain liberation, but the practice that we engage in is actually more belonging to the non-Buddhist way of practice to attain liberation. So therefore, in this situation, when it comes to liberation, if your objective is liberation and attaining Buddhahood, it is important for us to have the intellectual capacity to analyze. If we do not have that, it is really very difficult to establish what is true liberation and Buddhahood.
Chijena Tunda di Sigre, Komoluki, Umar Jinjitana, Chese, the Debada Shera Res, and Debala Tene, Munto de Tuguare, Sherala Tene, Nele Tuguares, Nele Lanata Tabada Tanjimba, or the Tuguares to Suyer.
So perhaps it is because of this, Nagarjuna, in his text, Precious Garland, he has said that what is Dharma? So Dharma, there are two perspectives of it. One is faith and one is wisdom. So faith faith can be the cause for us to attain higher states of rebirth, whereas wisdom will be able to help us attain liberation and Buddhahood. Now, when it comes to Pureland, we are actually talking about attaining a higher state of rebirth. And it's not just a normal higher state of rebirth, but a special, something that is different from the usual higher state of rebirth.
Ta chidang ane nangchu ki nangbichu changbi ta tebu sinamindo yana nangchu changengi ane miyu sinamindo tinti tabu di shi tabu chiyore.
Generally, when we talk about Buddhism or the results of studying Buddhism and the objectives of the people who are studying Buddhism, there are basically four such objectives.
Di shi diye pake shedang jine shena ta miji ki samlu yerke rinpa jinta buku chung ne chiru choye sotabu chiye pechi lab chogore.
For these four objectives, maybe we can describe it to say that it's similar to how we develop our mind such that we are improving or increasing its capacity, bring it to a higher development. Just like a child, from a child to adult, the mental capacity or the maturity of the child just improves over age.
Ta kandre kasugore manso karicheba ine digi jitube chi de chigi yo indi ane digi yonghe di ta chilo gi panjo longje da ta tamnyen da tizo khone thon yonggi yebi ta sudi yedi ta nese ta masho diche.
Whatever we do it for the attainment of our happiness. So what is important is that when we try to achieve happiness, we do not just look at what is outside the material comforts, where we just look at material comforts and think that we can achieve the happiness that we want purely only from such material comforts.
Ta dile ani geong di desam gi ta tandu nangi semgi digi ta deba khangi simbaji yongge meba de thongni ta dile ge ni sinemi do ro lab chogro ta nanglo gi samlu tangdang gi thone nangi simgi shide la ya yonghe chi la ya tonang te ni tinde chi ni ta nangchu changje digi thone mitsi de ge nanglo la suji sim la shide tuye gi ta mi yu su ni ne nangchu changhe chi ta mi yu tangbo di.
So if we were to go beyond the external material comforts, then that's where we realize that just by having the external material comfort, it does not give us the internal peace, the internal peace and happiness that we can experience in our mind. So what do we then do? Then we need to look at how our mind works and how can we change the way we think. And that's the reason why sometimes people engage in the study of Buddhism with the objective of wanting to achieve happiness. So this is the first objective.
다 보고 준주이나 카두 마도 삼다에 매버제 되네 야즈 저디 딘다치 다와치 데스 모험베 삼당 통해차 되네 야 미침부 차는데 에 미시치기 삼당 통해 니 미시치기 디디 용에게 도 삼당 통해차 다 디제라 아니 시도그레 시위제라 다 가르치기래 세기 도나질레네 에 심주제제 에 기와치마 유베 이치니네 에 치마 세치마디 다 두고 마용해지 다 디지 필수소가 용해지 제국도 세다 미유디 송네 야 나주 제지 다 리머니버디가 딜레거.
So for a child, probably, for a child at the beginning, they were just having thoughts about or plans about 1 week, what is going to happen to them 1 week. And then as they grow older, then they may start thinking about 1 month. And when they become an adult, then they will be thinking about their life, this life that they have. And then when we talk about this life, we all know that we will pass away one day. So the question is, after death, what do we do? What can we do? And upon such thoughts, and if you are able to then have the belief or faith in past and future lives, then that's when you start looking into what will happen after death, what kind of future life are you going to have such that you will not experience suffering and you will have the happiness you're looking for. And it is with this objective that some people study Buddhism, and that would be the second objective.
디네 딜레 양조 디워실레 연구로 다 양조 양 하다 밀레제나 양시조레 양제그레 양시그레 다디 탐 맹인 딘데 지두선에 다 기시기 아니 코와 딜레 타레지 탑시지 요레 요 말에 심주 제비 토네 대시 남샬라 심주 제제 엔 타바된도 얘기 주베지 다 미숨바데.
So after that, the next question is, well, so if we are going to have a good rebirth after death, like being born as a human or as a deva. But even as a human or a deva, what will happen is that they will die again, and then they'll be born again, and then die again and born again. So you just keep going through this cycle of birth and death in this cyclic existence. Then the question would be, is there a way we can actually be freed from this cyclic existence? And that's where we have the presentation on the Four Noble Truths. And by relying on the teaching of the Four Noble Truths and seeking liberation from this cyclic existence will be the third objective.
디네 다 ngaran 타바 딘디지 토바이나 안 대성기 디기도에시도 디 디기민도 심제 상만 잡고 그래스 삼로실레 다 잡아라 안에 가르쳐 버렸어. 겹투에지 요래 요 말에 디심주 제비 토네 다 상제 세지 수수 상제 고방데 토바이나 심제 탐제를 잡투고도 삼네 에 상제 고방 된는 얘기 다 도지네 남에 다 미시바 다 미터도 잡듯이 디레다.
So if I myself is able to attain liberation, so just by the mere fact that I attain liberation, is that okay or not okay? It's not okay because there are many other sentient beings that I need to help. I need to save them. So then the question would be, am I able to help them? And if yes, what do I need to do? So then that's when you realize that in order to help all sentient beings, you first need to attain the state of Buddhahood. And only then would you be able to have the ability to help all sentient beings. And it is with this objective, then you study Buddhism. So that would be the fourth objective, and that would be the ultimate objective.
제자 다 디낭로네 미다 당부점 샤댕이들 다신께 제시에게 요 말와.
So in these four objectives, if your first objective is just the first one, right? Then there's really no need to talk about Pureland.
마신네 지단에 미유 타마 소소 산제 고방 줍세 미유 심제 탐제 잡세기 미유디 샤딩인디기 디 탑시 줍딩인디기 소소 타바 토베디 쇼르레 용거.
For the last, the ultimate objective where you want to attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings, So, even though your objective is to help all sentient beings and you employ all the methods in order for you to attain Buddhahood to help all sentient beings, when you achieve that objective by the side, so it's like a byproduct, you also attain your own liberation.
다 타바 톱고도 삼네 아니 디기 토네 다 디기 탑수마 노로라 랍딩이지나 개와지마 다 땡상보 톱에디 코쇼를 레저다.
So if we say, yes, I need to attain liberation, I need to also attain Buddhahood, then because of that, you need to then aspire for a good rebirth in order for you to attain Buddhahood. So in that sense, the byproduct is that you will naturally attain a very good rebirth.
다 개와 제만 디기 삼로 땅지 디둘 삼로 땅네 개와 제만 디기 용에게 탑시 제딩이지나 체딜 셈시딜레디 야 숄레 버피 라초우레.
So for those who aspire to have a good after rebirth where they are looking at less suffering and more happiness, then the byproduct that they have would be that in this life they will be able to attain happiness.
디 간데레스나 페나 다 안gonsu 미니 가르스고레 디네 다 말레이시아 더버터와 이나로와 다 딜라 아니 미직 딜라 다 락발라 미니가 로로 곰품레레 요레 로아 곰품레레 키지 말레이시아로 더 말레이시아로 되잖아 아니 니가 로게 곰품직디 라버다.
Okay, so why do I say that? Say if we have two people going to Malaysia and each of them has got with them $100,000 with them, each of them. But in the process of them going to Malaysia, both of them has lost the 100,000 that each of them has.
So when
they lost the money, then they are going to experience some difficulties, right? Because each of them only have 100,000 each, and they have both lost the 100,000 each that they have.
강에 태버레데 이네 찍들 할레베 강에 침부터 찍들라 강에 시라지 할레베 침부터요 말.
Even though both of them has experienced difficulties, but for one, the intensity of the difficulties that he or she experienced is very high, it's very intense. But for the other one, it's more a little bit of non-challenge, not much of feelings involved.
디 가르치니 케버셔더레 시디가라 찍들라 코랑 간제 미지치디 코랑 라고 붐찍디 마도 요 말다.
So why is there this difference between the experiences that these two people have? This is because one of them, in this life, they only have that $100,000.
찍들라 싱가포르 라고 붐망보 요르다.
And then for the other one, in Singapore, he or she has got many 100,000s.
그래서 디 여딩이 디 내가 강에 태르마도 심딩니 베디 당 앞에 사송 세기 남자디 용거 말.
So that's the reason why for that person, because he or she has so many 100,000s in Singapore, so at that moment when you lost 100,000, so you just have that brief discomfort or unhappiness that, I've lost the money, but it's not going to affect him a lot.
그래서 디더브지기 체가마 체치마 디두 디네 삼로 뭐 땅딩엔디기 미지 차서 강에 태버이네 내갑다 강에 요르데 이네 패티 코란 땅 앞에 사송 세디 요 말. 그래서 디 내갑지기 계절했어. 디 두시디 요르와.
So therefore, if we look at past and future lives, so even though we experience some difficulty in this current life, but because we have a broader perspective when we look at past and future lives, whatever difficulties that we experience now is really just temporary. At this point, it's temporary, and therefore it doesn't affect us that much.
제자다 생아지 계자매나 다 간지 기불라네 두불라네 미지 디치부로 하다. 디여나 요레 디메나 매버레. 딜라 베디 강에 친구지 태운데 에네 레와 차상 라체 에네 심펫 그런 shum도에 딜레기어라.
So if you do not believe in past and future lives, you're only looking at this life itself. So whatever you have in this life is what you have. Whatever you do not have in this life is what you do not have. And that's the reason why, because you're banking all on this life, whatever happens to this life is going to affect you very much. And when you meet with difficulties, you're just going to be, like totally defeated and give up.
안티나 신지기 다 덕신러 이지경이 갈래하고래 뭐도 이지约定이제 이지约被 톤에 탑론 강라 강섬 줍딩이 되는 미든지 있나 하버도야 아니 시가 너무 벽에 디 용에 잡라 강에 용에 잡라야 김나 용대 되는 용기요.
So similarly, for those who believe in Pure Land, so they, so if they have some belief in Pure Land, it's not going to affect them a lot. So even at the point of death, they can have a certain they can experience certain happiness because they are looking at what is going to happen to them after death.
그래서는 다신을 깨워지면 다신을 깨봐이나 배는 대화진다 남진 용다기 다 대화진을 깨봐이나 다 대화 영의지기 깨지시 온도잖아요. 다 간제 대화진을 깨봐이나 어디네 송대다 동해 균체로래 대단냠도 다 상계 외밤에 제요래 파바진이 생구수 제네 취슈요래 무시요래 주주요래 딘디네 다 차대요라.
Why? Because when you in your future life you're born in Pure Land, say for example Sukhavati, because a lot of people practice the Pure Land of Sukhavati. So you're born there, for someone who has faith in Pure Land and you take rebirth in Pure Land, that is a place where your sufferings will actually be totally eliminated. That's where you will not experience suffering anymore. And in addition, you will see Amitabha Buddha directly. You will also see Avalokiteshvara directly. Not only that, you can also receive teachings from them directly, and you will have clairvoyance and magical powers.
제상다 배나 당어주 낭 대외 대버지라 수수 낭기다 낭기 잘라 참을 샤네 다치나 치료를 줄라바이나 치료를 된거를 슬라바이나 다디 가고래 도고래 계제 데려와다 시세에 든지지로와다 체디기다 참을 유니 저에 계제 지로와다.
So if we have the house that we have now, and we are told that we need to leave whatever we have in this house behind and go outside. So when someone says that to you, are you supposed to be happy or are you supposed to be sad? Isn't this similar to what death is? Because when death comes upon us, we just have to leave behind whatever we have and go.
진짜 딜라도 전에 타지도 다디 누가 인빙해 봐게요 말.
So when that happens, is it definitely that it will be a very bad situation that you're going through?
디 야가래 두가래 라바들 타주 제발랑에라 디네 되니 거로가 세지기제 디르다.
In order to decide whether this is a good or bad situation, then we first need to ask ourselves, after we have left this house, left this place, where are we going?
디네 되 이 칠로를 조사 tradition이면나 다스뭐 메로다 강에로다.
If we have to leave this place and go outside where we have no preparation, there's nowhere for us to go, then this is a very poor situation where we will feel very sad.
근데 많이 뭐지 낭디네 돼 딜레 합이 낭지 딜레 합이 다 잘라 유지 푸수 써버지 파게 자리 유스 저는 파게 쇼라나 투지 첼레로다 가신도 조신도 되어로다.
So if it is not in such a situation, but it is a situation where after you have left this house, you're going to a better place where there is more material comforts, more endowments than your current place. And everything is prepared ready for you, and they said, please come, So that is the point you will say, oh, thank you very much.
제상다 디더부지기다 신의 유치 용행당 디기 탑론 주딩이지 차나 디더부차데 수부디 유 단다기다 조보당 다 쿠르유당 디기디 유다 시세 기제 디로하다 레디 딜레 합이다 쿠르유 상보 딜레 합이다 조보야보 딜레 합이 단달레 합이 기긴야보 오다 단달레 합이다 류지 용그레슬라 용드자네 다 가능 게지로하다 디 친구는 용인진다 다들 직송 다 신의 따다레세지 레로 지거라다. So just like Pure Land, for someone who has got belief and faith and is engaging in the practice to accomplish the methods and the causes to be reborn in Pure Land, so when you die, it's really just leaving behind this body. This is what death is all about, isn't it? To leave behind our body and to go to the Pure Land. So it will be a better place than what you have.
and you will meet with better friends, Dharma friends. You will meet with better teachers. It is something for you to be happy and rejoice. And you will say, oh, it's okay to die. No problem.
Chezanta kalawore otati tiboche. Chezan dichidu ta nangchuegi tindigi anemi shi yube nanglo ne chima digidi ta chubegi ta di pyudabo yinba ta di chubgugu yuba ta di tablam ta zo ane changshu semda tonyi dubi shirab la changgugu yuba tindigi tawa di lep inayang ta tse dila ane taba top tuyagi rewa me dengi tse dila sanje tuye rewa me ngenji ina ta shine ta samtang goyaji ta ko di lobchong di mutuni kiwa dizama se kiwa jimane mutuni ane dus chashi kuya goyagi di chen ta kiwa jima ane nga kawa kena ya kare se yagi samtang goyaji shine didan chelne ane tashingi kicha di lebar.
So I've mentioned that there are 4 objectives for which someone learn Buddhism and practice Buddhism. So if you're looking at the later objectives, and you want to achieve your objectives in a very with good quality, and you need to understand why the need and what are the methods that you can employ to achieve your objectives. And the methods will be basically bodhicitta and also the wisdom realizing emptiness. And therefore, knowing that these are the methods for you to achieve your objectives, it will then arise the desire for you to want to learn on these topics. And then you ask yourself, in this life, is it possible for me to attain liberation or Buddhahood? And if I can't do so in this life, then you need to start thinking about your future life, where you will be able to continue your study such that you can achieve your objectives. So if you can't do it this life, then we need to think about future life. Where do I need to go? And what kind of methods do I need to employ in order to have a future life, a better future life that allows me to learn, to continue my learning and achieve my objectives? And that's when the topic of Pure Land will come to mind.
Chezanta shigures nimaji shirugures samloji yobache ta shiweche la kyawa mutuni lengire diji duzane ta tabada tanje chemba mutuni tuweji kanderes tinde tawa yodengi la ta dashindan teni samlo tesilep sigire ine dige dandu mambuji la shibsabo le tugo amar kares na shigures kane la ma do sim dingne one nga nimaji shirugures sim dingne yabuji tentugo amar dina shi riji la kyawa chima singa zogita kajunda soljungi tone pachagi ton labde amado unera shimju chine kyawa chima se yue tajere sembe ichi di shukchimbuji dangi omar ta dindingone chiwa medabo gomje yana menane magomne chamchamda ta dindigi kyawa chima da dindigi tawa chisa yue de bachila chamchamda shiro chine naya dindi ina ya dawa khashi soro dindi goma hoye tone chiwa medabo toba kyeonro o dindi kadula ane shine shi sabo samdangwe chaarda ta nga kawa kegire kiwa chima kegire kiwa ina kawa kegire kandichile kegire dindichile keba ina nga kandichile sare siyaji samuru rangshingi ta shibsabu tango yaji chayongwar.
So we know that one day we will die, and if for someone we know that we will die, and we know that we will have we will go through the cycle, we will have a rebirth after death. So if you think that okay, I can just keep on having going for rebirth, and then this is okay. Kela thagi kya ke soyala shigoya nimaji shigoya re ina kiwa mambo len goya meduk ani len goya meduk sti tashin ge kor digi mares di sungimbe ari tambo
lavi
jesa
kiwa nga chili chi mengi na
jesa kiwa yo mares len goya meduk di kor tashin kor shigoya meduk So for someone who believes, I mean, we all know that we are going to die one day. But if you are belong to the type where you think that yes, we will die, but I will not have a rebirth after death. So basically, this is where your life is going to end when you die this life. So for this type of people, there's no need to talk about Pure Land because they don't believe in life after death, rebirth after death. But for another type of people, you know that you're going to die one day, right? But you don't know what you're going to do. And sometimes, even though we say we are going to die, but it's more like, because everybody is saying we are going to die one day, and there will be future lives after death, that we are going to take rebirth. It may seem that you believe in past and future lives because you're talking about it, but that is more because the environment, the people around you are talking about it, and that kind of give you the influence or the imprints for you to say, yes, there's past and future life. But do you really have that belief deep down in your heart that past and future life exists and how it is going to affect you? I think that is questionable. If you do not contemplate on the impermanence of death, right, and then you do not contemplate and meditate on it, then it is very difficult for us to arise that kind of heartfelt, convicted thoughts in our mind stream. It's only when you're really going to die one day, and that's when you say, oh yes, so I'm really going to die, and what is going to happen to me after death, and where will I go, and what can I do? And when I go to this place, what will happen to me? And that's when those questions really hit you very hardly and make you start thinking.
제상 아다보이나 로뉴슈yen 디바치라 타시로 제 니수든지 충벌에 나네 디기 단다에다 나서 무티네 라데 윤서 경시부를 하여다 로초 제마트벨 양 초신다지네 디토난레라 다 시위체라 아니 가르치기래 세에게 또는 숙심불레라 편도 중요할.
So take for myself as example, about 20 years ago, I was very sick, such that I was about to die. So because of my sickness, I was very disadvantaged because I can't really practice. But on the other hand, because of my sickness and because I was about to die, so that became the cause for me to become interested and ask myself, what is going to happen to me after death?
제산다 교황아치는 텔레 거르다 드링시나 mentak싱디 하루르 다디 먹어 제로아 다디나네 퍼치치 다남주 슝낭라 메바다 용다마 힘비 다 퍼치치니 슈기.
If we have to talk about past and future lives today, then there probably will not have time for Pureland. So I'm not going to talk much about past and future lives today, but I'm going to give you an example.
용다마 힘바 가르스나 ngi samloji khorso ta kanje semse gi subigi je dile losuji yore yo mari ta di shena yoba shena ki wachimi chola pendo yoba di meba shena ki wachima mebe tola ta pendo yoba di chadorwa.
So basically, sometimes we ask ourselves, when we talk about our mind, do we have a mind such that it is different from the body that we have now? So if it is different from the body we have now, we will then be able to it will be able to give some benefit to establish the existence of past and future lives. If there is the mind is not going to be different from the body, then perhaps it is not going to help us in establishing the existence of past and future lives.
Didingi samlo pezen shungnang lo la riba mangbo kyoyor. Ani didikala ngi samlo ji kari khoresna ta shungne kyo ba jangjang ma himba chini. Ani midinde la tongje jure la jure se kije dinde jyo derwada. Tingone re mare khande re shimju ji thuna chijina nisu di khase ru la phendo yesare samdine tense.
So what I've done is that in a lot of scriptures there have been many reasons put forth to establish that the mind is different from the body. But I'm thinking, maybe let's not just rely on what the scriptures have said. Can we look at it from another perspective where, we've heard of where ghosts or spirits entering the bodies of human beings. So if I can do some research in this area to see whether it is indeed true that you have another consciousness entering a human body, if I can find some proof in that aspect, that perhaps will help me in clarifying the reasons or to put forth the establishment of the existence of past and future life.
이 조보든지 라인베 아니 한제기 계제기 돈이 지왕아지 디시 자고 주는 우투기 계제를 해서
So when I told this to my friend that I'm going to utilize this method to establish whether past and future lives exist, then my friend said, this is really a very desperate way of thinking that you have.
이내 당아 그루아 게메 걸스나가 밀레디시 제치둥이 디타지 지기메 마랑 이치 야부진예 치다지 지기.
But for me, I have not changed my mind. Why? Because the reason why I'm undertaking this research is not because I want to explain to other people. It's merely for myself to arise the belief that past and future lives exist. So I have not changed my mind about the method that I'm going to use.
디지디다 딘디지니 주자메다 체딩이디 양나메나나 나자더부지레 라보지그레 주디전에 남주자메다 땡기지자메 시고르와 양나메나니 다 코탑네 탑된지니 주마지네 다 미잔에 베샤 라야도 고호르타야 치도 딘디지 라보지그르와 기실 한정원에 마히나.
So if for someone who, for ghosts or consciousness to enter another person's body, so if that happens, then there are a few possibilities. One possibility is that it's actually the person is sick, right? So on the surface, it seems as though another consciousness is entering the body, but really the person is just being sick. And therefore, due to his sickness, he's showing a lot of different facial expressions. That's one possibility. Another possibility could be that he's really just acting to show, it's not true, but he acts as though there's another consciousness inside his body in order to deceive other people for whatever reasons that could be.
Tene bayulaya tindi tamade zuiding ishitu tindi yueba hagone ninge kangsuni ta namju midizo ina an pachi ane lungden tindi shu chigore ta ngada lungden keje kemer ichi kemer ta zo de lebali losu chi subui zele losu sheba yume ta ji je chu sarkashi chimai.
So in Nepal, there's such a person, like a medium, where many consciousness or ghosts entering his body. I know about this. So for a lot of people, they will go to this medium purposely because they want to receive some sort of prophecy from the medium or from the ghost that enter the medium's body. For me, I purposely went to him not because I want to receive prophecies, because I don't really believe in the prophecies, but my purpose is to do a research and analyze if the brain or the consciousness is different from the body or not.
And they draw a package to the Kadu de la Troji de Legido in a Troll Icheke Yomarwa.
So when I went, I saw that, something seemed to be entering his body. So it gave me some kind of feelings. But feelings are just feelings. It's not something that I should place a lot of emphasis or believe in feelings.
Chargilla Pevegi Taji Tuni and the Peki Tabne, Pegi Tegi Choki Kanji Pegi Tabje, and Geshe Thupten Palsang Peki me Lagdu, in a day of the Jajatamba Ichi to Marwa, could never lead it, never lead Sanzang Rare. In a Shingime Lady, the Krigi Korea Geshingime, Japan Geshingime, and the test Sarva. Roa, Jamiji Shingime, and Pegi Shingime, and Lamsa Ichi to Mundo.
But there was one time, a Tibetan deva actually entered his body and started speaking in Tibetan. And it is a Tibetan that belongs to the upper region of Tibet. Well, he claims that he doesn't know Tibetan, but when subsequently he was speaking Tibetan. So then the question is, is it true that he doesn't know Tibetan? Because he is actually a Nepali. So if he says that, I don't know Korean, I don't know Chinese, and then subsequently he speaks Korean or Chinese, it's easier for us to believe that he doesn't know Korean or Chinese in the first place. But when he says he doesn't know Tibetan, so it's kind of like difficult to believe that, is it true that he doesn't really know Tibetan?
Tenengi Trobuji Bayuli Lene, and Nani Kiji Sheng, to study Chigi, Yube Sojobuchi, Ichida to Lande Sage, Ine Kungi Sebuji Tanda Ragmendus. That the Rael Karichegu dos Nani Tudurcher.
So then I have a friend who also came to Nepal, and we kind of did some research together. It seemed as though that it is genuine, that it's true what he's doing, but there is no direct or a very solid proof to prove that it is true. So then we ask ourselves, what do we need to do in order to get that kind of solid proof?
아니 ngani da thama tudurchi be thadela ngani gi bebe gi lhaji ane sanyin phage midi sala yongrojis zurojis lani khambe nanglo ne ngani ke je shewos sanyin phage dil zuna ta di gyumzen di sewuji charo ro ne bali di ngani di lagi ba di khoi hagu ngushe yo na ma do hagu ma ro.
So we both had a discussion, and then we decided that we shall invite a Tibetan deity and request the deity to enter the body of this medium. And then we shall go and see, is it true? And if tomorrow the Tibetan deity really enters his body, then it's kind of like a clear sign, yes, it is true. Because he wouldn't know that we have invited a Tibetan deity to enter his body, and therefore he cannot fake it out, right?
아니 개인이 기타 딱 로봇이 당하니가 초갈라 싫어 남기 도나 싫어 맹이 된대래 딜레디 친주에서는 지당해요 라도절라 대 신기민도 바제 수제 직 체네 아니 대배제지라서 딜레 친주 당해야지 아니 신의 자당그 아니 자당 디제제 아니 딜레 질럽디 때제 아니 베벨타 치링만 세야들라 치링만기 친주도 배제디 나로라 아 치링만라 친주 당제 아니 ngani 개침부 시다이 디 기왕아지 지제라 펜도도 아니 디 심주제라 펜도 심부 시다도 아니 기랑 인지민지 산이 엠파게 아자데살라 여러지스 컴베 나로네 디 랍제 진짜 따래.
So both my friend and I, we are not very good at rituals, but then nevertheless we decided that we'll do a protector prayer. But even then, we had to search high and low for the prayers to do the protector prayers. Finally, we found one text, a protector prayer text, and then so we went about boiling the water, preparing the black tea to make offering to the protector. So the deity in this instance is Teringma, which is the long life deity, so a long life protector deity. And so we requested her. We said it is very important for us that we are doing this experiment now. We want to see. Because if this experiment is successful, it will increase our faith in the existence of past and future lives. So therefore, please, for the sake of our experiment, please come and go to the medium's body. And if you come, then that will help us a lot. So we requested her to come tomorrow. So next morning at 9 a.m., we went to that person's place.
아니 방진이 대제 아니 계제시에 차즈지는 직주스 주인은 가참 라고타 메데 차기야제 직제되기도.
So then when we reached there, we waited a bit, we talked a bit. Then shortly thereafter, the deity came and entered the body. And when the deity came and entered the body, he or she started dancing, and then there were a lot of hand mudras.
이처럼 수인 바스레 비게잖아.
And I spoke in Tibetan and asked, who are you? And the answer is, I'm Teringma, the long life protector deity. Oh, so she has come. But this Teringma seems to like my friend better than me.
아니 디네 룽덴 딘제제 nga lungden le thayin ba ha go chane lungden le shide ichi le me do.
So there's some sort of prophecy that was being given. So even though I know it's a prophecy, but I don't really have much belief or I don't pay much attention to such prophecies. I generally do not pay much attention or give much emphasis on prophecies.
Pegi lumbachi mingdens lumbachi ji de la combat de juare digi combat digi tires karsure kigen double lama double res tindilas.
What was told to my friend is that the Teringma said that you came from Tibet and you were from this particular monastery in your previous life, And in your previous life, you were actually a teacher, a lama.
And Sarji Tigi Lo Chi Ni Chela. Kimganamuchi Sunju Shusa Kaduchilla, and Roba Mambuchi, Dunla, and the Pen Petting Kushukashi Dusa. And Koran Kani is Lumbadini like Dusa. Lumbadina no combat in this Yore Vese, Yama Yore like Dusa. And Tina Lama Dindi Yores. Lama Digis any Somsha Yugi Peja Yore like Dusa. And Kasum days, Kara Yalama Tulure like the days.
So subsequently, 1 or 2 years later, during one of the solemnities, the Dalai Lama's teaching, so there were some Tibetans from Tibet. They were sitting in front. So my friend then and realized that these Tibetans, some of them were from that particular hometown that Thirimang has prophesied. So then he asked, so in your hometown, is there such and such monastery? The answer was yes. In that particular monastery, was there such and such Lama by this name? Answer was yes. And they even said that this particular Lama had composed some texts. So when my friend heard this, he kept quiet. Perhaps he's thinking, maybe I am the reincarnation of that particular Lama.
Kisi kon lama chinde meba ina tis lungde dine ke lama ho che peche di ratab chena kisi korang somjong one ina chik chena lo na ya paja se re yo.
So this crossed my mind. Even if he does not have the desire to become a so-called reincarnated Lama, but I think he should at least try to get hold of the text that was composed by that particular Lama, because if he can read that particular text that he had composed, that Lama had composed, then perhaps the imprints in this life, he is able to awaken the imprints that he has.
Ta kandriya duchini kyawanga chi yukorla shungne sheshabe riba digidi tanda chu chokdi che nambegi ta tanda tseri da rusur du tensha yoti nanglo la shung kawagasene chu chokdi che shaba ta kaligale rato khabure.
So whatever, regarding past and future lives, whatever has been spoken or can be found in the scriptures, these days they have been compiled into a book that is on the Indian philosophy, science and philosophy that can be found in ancient Indian texts. So this book is being compiled, and I think you are able to get some information from there.
Chesanta tagila di ta kyawanga chi dindi iji ngi ngone ina kyawanga chi se ngone kije ji yoba ina labodo ta thaba da sanje go ban tube kije she go na ta samdang go ji ro ta misi dina no truma thuna muthini ta nga kyawa khawa le na yasare se.
So for someone who has got real belief in past and future lives, and if you are looking at achieving or attaining liberation and the state of Buddhahood, then this is something you need to think about. What if I can't achieve my objectives in this life? What do I need to do in my future lives? Where can I go? Where should I go?
Machine ta kyawa le di legi wangi re se khashi legi wangi re se kije di le undi sane khashi la antindi insa rawa yo mares kije chi legor de samdang se ji yore ta ya samdang se shinda ji ne legi insa rawa yore de sam tame yore.
When we talk about rebirth, sometimes people will say rebirth is really a result of your karma. So it's under the influence or the power of karma, and therefore you do not have freedom over your rebirth. Yes, this is one way of thinking, but the other way of thinking is because it is by the power of your karma, then we do have freedom over our rebirth.
Tandagi kyawa di la kandi chungma chungdi jaji gyatamba ngonsu tame yo mare kije tirwa karisana tegi kyen yore di kyangja ma yinba kyawa nga ma sabi le yores ta ma omba kari chungma chungdi jaji gyatamba ta susu ki chedangla ane te yorwa chedu tabshi che yode ba chade yore.
So if we look at about our so-called our life, the rebirth that we have now in this life, yes, it is something that we cannot choose because it is propelled by the karmas we had committed in our previous lives. So yes, in a way it's true. But if we look at our future lives, then it really depends on what we are doing in this life. So if we look at it from that perspective, we do have freedom over our rebirths. We do have control over our rebirths. So from this perspective, if after you have ended this life and you're going to be reborn in the lower realms, then it is definite that you will not be able to continue in your practice of the Dharma. So even if you're reborn as a human, so if we look at this world, this universe stumbling that we are in, do all human beings have the opportunity to practice the Dharma? Not, right? It's not that everyone born a human being has the opportunity to practice the Dharma. So therefore, the environment that you are in is important, and whether the kind of family that you are born in is also important, and whether you yourself possess the full and complete faculties is also important, and the kind of intellectual capacity that you have, how good or bad it is, they all make a difference. So even if you are reborn in this world, Zambuling, it is not definite that you will be able to continue to practice the Dharma. It can be difficult on one hand because you need to be endowed with all the favorable conditions, and you need to be free from all the opposing conditions. So even if you have got the conditions to practice, right? But when you are married, you are so busy with your married life, with your child, with your chores, such that you are not able to devote your time fully to the practice of Dharma. You only have time, when you have time to practice the Dharma. You can't devote it fully. So even if you have got all the favorable conditions and you are ordained as a Sangha, then the next question is, how long are you going to live? So we say that if you are going to live to an age of 80 or 90 years old, that's considered a long life. So that is the kind of lifespan you're going to have. So assuming that you're going to live a life of 80 years, up to the age of 10 years old, there's probably nothing much you can do in terms of your practice. 10 to 15 years, around that period.
And
then as you get older, it will be difficult for you to practice as well, because when you get older, then your memory will degenerate, your body will be weak, so you do not have much time, you do not have much so-called conditions for you to practice as well. So if you look at it this way, you are left with only the middle section, which is maybe about 60 years, where you can practice the Dharma in a very good qualitative manner. So for such a person who has got 60 years, to really practice the Dharma seriously and well, of that 60 years, maybe 20 years is the time you spend sleeping.
아니 런유슈 사 칼라스 알랭일 칼라 트디체 모고네 사스 둘로티 딘딘디치니 런유슈 데조르다.
And then of that, another 20 years will be gone because you need to prepare your food, you need to cook, you need to do your household chores, clean your clothes. Then 20 years is gone just like that.
그래서 교화 제만들 전물링들 제바이나 삐딱 쇼들 제바이나다 쳬삐 닥슈지 제투바이나다 런유슈 제여다.
So therefore, if you are reborn in this world, Zambuling, in your future life, you are probably going to have only 20 years where you can really practice the Dharma very well. That is only 20 years.
제자다 딘디 시사보 삼당인데 아니 게시 전물링디 마힘비 교화len서 야가 신다지여나 아니 삼당고에 차로다.
So when we look at this, then what if we are not coming to this Zambuling, this world? Is there another place where we can go? Is there a better place for us?
딘디진이 디체비 갑라 아니 치르당 상제기 닥신 망부 요레데 상제 신금 카시엘 삐다다는 것이 끼투에기 디요 말이스.
So because of this, then we have to look elsewhere. So there are many Buddha fields, Buddha lands, where there are many Buddha lands, but some of them are so good, are so perfect that it is not possible for us to be reborn there.
아니 카시에기 두그로wan지 슈제 양 샴발라 디바께 딘디 삼당에 요르데 샴발라를 계제 참아 아니 최남다 제투빙이 봐요 말에 샴발라를 낭바 요레 힌두 요레 니가 요바디 슝코라나 요레.
So for some of you who have received the initiation of Kala Chakra, you may think that, oh, maybe Shambhala is a place that I can go to. But Shambhala is a pure land where it's a pure land where one is not definite that he or she can practice the Buddha. Why? Because in Shambhala, you have both Buddhists and you also have Hindus. This is something that has been stated in the text itself.
닝미 출라 대바징이 카시 상도베리세 들구르르 무지 슈요레스니 말란장에 딘디 연구하르데 상도베리라 미요레 가사 심부 예비기 지시고레 딜라디다 딜라케나 최 야보 용행에 버게요 말.
So for some of the Nima practitioners, so they may aspire to go to Guru Bridges Pure Land, the glorious Bronze Mountain Pure Land. But even if you are there, it is not definite that you are able to practice the Dharma because it is said that the Yakshas are born there as well. So it is not definite.
다단다 아니 라율 간데라 지진 점근 슈사기네 딜라 tak신 다치 유에베게 지시고 디 요레 딜라 파기케기 딘데 길루바나로라이타 딘데 요레 탑시칭이 딘데 요레 레디타 디 산지기 건주나로라 할레비 십사고게 요만 간덴 딘데 유에바 점 딘데지마도 간덴 생이 간제 유에 내주 딘데 유에 딜라제 탑시 디 딘데기 세부면도 별로 주샤바 단다 자여로 부디 디나로라 딘데 세부면도.
So there is another Pure Land called Ganden, which is the Pure Land of Maitreya Buddha. So this Pure Land exists, and I know that there are some Gulupas who actually practice to be reborn in Ganden. But in the translated words, the Kangyur of the Buddha, it is not stated, there is no clear exposition of how Ganden is like as a Pure Land. There was no clear exposition on how Ganden is like. It just says that yes, Ganden as a Pure Land exists, but how does it look like? And what are the methods that we can employ to be reborn there? There's not much of teaching in that respect. You know, in the translated words of the Buddha, Kangyur, there are 100 volumes of that. Nothing much has been spoken about Ganden in that 100 volumes.
다 단다 좀된데기 부디 단다 별로 주바자다 디나로라 세부진의 송샤바디 다 니요레. 파게 신감내당 간제이 딜레제나 펜도 가리여 디제레 주 간제 줍고 세부진의 송샤바디다 누초라 에바메기 신감 대화젠다 샤쇼라 아나산지 주비 신감 오머가비 신감스 디니디다 세부시라 송여.
So of all the teachings that Shakyamuni Buddha has spoken, had expounded in 100 volumes, what was clearly spoken was that there are two Pure Lands, where there was very clear exposition on how this Buddha land is like. What are the benefits if you are reborn there, and what kind of causes you need to accomplish to be reborn then. So what are the two Buddha lands that have been spoken by Shakyamuni Buddha? One is the Buddha land that is found in the eastern direction, which is Abhirati, the Pure Land of ultimate joy, which is the Pure Land of Akshobhya Buddha. And on the western direction, there is the Pure Land of Amitabha Buddha, Sukhavati, Pure Land of ultimate bliss. So there have been very clear teachings by Shakyamuni Buddha in respect of these two Pure Lands in his teaching.
Tanda pepe kanju nalo la dewa jin kor to nyi che jana la sum yo sarwa jage thola do sum andilagid.
Oh, okay. So in the Tibetan Kangyo, the translated words of the Buddha, when it comes to the sutra relating to Devajin River, the sutra relating to Sukhavati, there are two of such sutras. But under Chinese Mahayana, I think there are three sutras.
Ani di kasugure nalenda gi chuji kele ngenji ina ta dinyi di da ke malemba la tosa mengen da bichi karesna do loga yoba za mayimba do shinda mangbe nanglo la dingi jingje be to la su to mangbe nanglo la kunzuni gi kor surje to shorda le yungudu.
So if you are someone who accepts the Nalanda tradition, this is probably something that you have no choice but to accept. Why do I say that? Because it's not just in that particular 2 or 3 sutras relating to Pure Land. In many other sutras, these two Pure Lands have been spoken by the Buddha. For example, in the King of Concentration Sutra, there have been mentioned about these two Pure Lands. So in many other sutras, Shakyamuni Buddha has spoken about these two Pure Lands in some way or other.
Ta de shingam dini la chejo kari yome ta peje la mago che dokran che na jage ta shingi ina ta jage thola tanda sanyi mitsubi shingi to yore dewajin to niga yore jage thola ta inji jangjang ina ta pe tanda gyuru yiji mare.
So in respect of these two Pure Lands, what kind of characteristics do they possess? I think maybe there's no need for me to go into that, because if you want, you can actually read the sutras itself. So far in the Chinese language, the sutras relating to Amitabha Buddha and the sutra relating to Akshobhya Buddha, they have been translated into Chinese language, so you can read that. In terms of English, I'm not sure, they might not have been translated.
An labardu tanda jage thola ti chingi ina to niga lola chingde jarshaba tanda ta ngegi tinang lo yorwa.
Chindin.
Website lagurwe.
That's.
chingde jarshab to niga la dewa chingi to le yore momarga shu to niga lola chingde yore.
Chikdela gela. Chindel chikdel.
Chikdel.
That's so. So for those who understand Chinese, in respect of the 2 sutras relating to Amitabha Buddha, you can find my explanation in terms of the sutras in the website, in my official website.
Chezang ta tenda dodo de karesena shingam dini le jeba ina di penje ne ta dunge chuni meba che di sungur.
So in essence, if you are reborn in either of these two Pure Lands, there will not be any more suffering or sufferings. And there will be no opposing conditions for you to practice the Dhamma. And you have all the favorable conditions for you to practice. On top of that, you're going to have long life.
수저 타바 된드닝이나 타바 토베찹 산제 고번 된드닝이나 산제 고번 토베찹 도니가 나로를 디요레.
So because of these conditions that you're going to be endowed with, if you are someone who aspire for liberation, you will definitely achieve liberation. If you are someone who aspire for the state of Buddhahood, you will definitely attain the state of Buddhahood. This has been very clearly spoken in the sutras. So if you're someone who has belief in the Pure Lands or in the sutras, then this is something for you to think about.
아니 민자와디 가레스나 대화진 레제나 태진바지나 자주심베 람롱인기 대화진디나 치지류지를 산제버터버다. 강제 깨와디 타마레 디체레 깨와 레모고에 톤에 산제tor.
So what would be the difference then? If you are reborn in Sukhavati, if you are someone who is definite in the Mahayana lineage, basically in this one lifetime, you are able to attain Buddhahood.
omragawi shingamina tindirangda marede yan dineshi tsebe chele susu kawa an kindu yebe san shingamdele jejoya tindishi gor.
So in terms of Abhirati, if you are reborn in Abhirati, yes, you do not attain Buddhahood in this one lifetime, but after you have passed away or after death, you have the choice to go to other Buddha lands and be reborn there, to be reborn there. So you have freedom over your rebirth.
Oda tindiche chezanta dashin korlanam jites konyungen dindi ina ta manzuta dashin leje gore ko mare se ta kijeti tunsen tangbuti kan ro.
So for those of you who have heard a little bit about Pure Land, then the question you need to ask is, do we want to? Is there a need for us to be reborn in Pure Land or not? So this will be the first part of the teaching, the topic. So one of the reasons I've already said earlier on. So if you think, so there may be some people who think that it's not necessary for us to be reborn there, but there will be another group who say it is necessary. There's a need for us to be reborn there. So if you have any thoughts in this area, share. So does any of you have any thoughts on whether one needs to be reborn in Pure Land or not? So is there anyone who would like to share your views with Geshe and the rest? Some people has told me this, and therefore I shall tell you. Some people say that it is better to be reborn in this world, Zambuling. Why? Because in our world Zambuling there is Tantra, whereas there's no Tantra in Sukhavati, in Sukhavati. I don't think this is right. Because on what basis do you decide or do you make the decision that there is no Tantra in Sukhavati? Because in the sutra, because in the sutra, Tantra is available in Sukhavati. This has not been spoken.
Rede Quran lola ngi tanda dewaji sanje rangi dewaji ngi kweba shejo di dorduji ins gebra chena tu zoya yo mares ti sun
Donalola. But in the sutra it has been said that what I've spoken about the Sukhavati is really just a brief summary. It's not in details. Whatever is in detail that is available somewhere else. So therefore, in this sutra, in the sutras, if you don't see that sutra or tantra is available in Sukhavati, how can we then come to the conclusion that there is no tantra in Sukhavati? Then some people will think like this. Well, in order for us to attain enlightenment in this one lifetime using this one body, then there is a need to practice the union of the father and the mother consort. And in Sukhavati, such a practice is not available. And And in this world, Zambuling, the practice of Tantra, there are many different types of tantric practices.
민자오 용에 가르스는 미수수기 수비네 당당 생기네 당 민자오 여 인상 안디 민자오 송을 산지.
Why is it that there are different tantric practices? It's because the kind of body that we have is different. The kind of mental inclinations or capacities we are different. And because of these differences, the Buddha has spoken or had taught different tantric practices.
지선 내당 딘지나 파게기 양 미수수기 내당 민자오 왕기 양 믹시기 탑람지 교보상지 얘기 요 말이스 간디슬랍도 그래.
So because if this is the case, then in Sugawati, it is also possible that there is some kind of special tantric practice that is suitable for the people for the beings who are in Sugawati. So on what basis can we say that special tantric practices are not available for them?
기시다 대화진랑아 매바 차샤 디 김전도 전에 다 나기 다 남친의 교보상지에 주도 정벌링들 교와 렌라바이나 디게제디 오늘제나 딘디싱의 마음치 다 시사보 삼라바다 제 셰버터부 통고도 다르레스나 정벌링 단다게 돼 시줄리제 상지에 제준 단다 제다 단다 제토고면도 야 제마지 러브도 간데스 제토 그래 직바로 단다 내가 마보 예스 교와 제마에 내가 레구로.
So let's assume that there is no tantra in Sugawati, and therefore you need to be reborn in the world Zambuling to practice tantra. If you make such a statement, that I think you have not thought through, seriously when you make such a statement. It's really just, something off the cuff of your head. Why do I say that? Because where are you now? You're currently in this world Zambuling. Why do you not make use of this life and this body that you have to attain enlightenment now? Why do you have to aspire for a rebirth to be reborn in Zambuling again? Oh, because I have a lot of work now. Then similarly in future, you will have a lot of work too.
지선다 직제나 다 정불링들 제네 교보상제와 차샤 직제는 정불링들 제제 베디고를 취하는 꾸라 당내지에 용시버다.
So it is possible that when you're reborn in this world Zambuling, it is possible that you can quickly attain the state of Buddhahood. But it is also possible that when you're reborn here again, you may not believe in Buddhism. You may just, you may not have the faith in Buddhism at all. But if you are reborn in Abhirati, it is definite that you will attain state of Buddhahood. Okay, so if you are reborn in Abhirati or Sugawati, either Pure Lands, you will definitely attain Buddhahood. 다 랑가베 모tor 디조사 랑가베 신나사보 여러 바라 카시살 어디를 보게 이기지 잘샤도 딘디지 tongs. So there was one time I was in Ladakh, this area in India, and the roads are very windy. So as I was traveling on the winding road, I saw this signboard. 어디를 가리지 두시나 인주다 모tor 칼리탕 라비기제로다 디 랍탕들 칸데 라샤스나 남이 아말레발레 칼리렘나 가그레스 딘디지샤. So basically this signboard wants to post a message or gives a message to the drivers to ask them to drive slowly. But the way they have put the message is, it is better to arrive slowly, late, rather than not arrive at all. So when I saw this, I thought of this. I thought crossed my mind. If we are the reborn in this Zambuling world, then it is better for us not instead of not arriving. It is better for us to be slowly arrive. So we should aspire in the Pure Land, because Pure Land we say it takes long time, right? So and we say Tantra we can achieve quickly. Through Tantra we can quickly achieve enlightenment in this life. So therefore, it's better than not to arrive. Then, rather than not arriving, it's better to arrive slowly, and therefore, it's better to be reborn in the Pure Land.
아니 가시 가르도스나 점거를 무치기 남주인 송주에 잡았다 된데를 참선 송그래. 나 당신 섬당에 메스. 마다비 싱는 무튀네 심지 된지에 삼단계에 마도 다신레 제스 뭐는 자기메스 대송다.
And then there are some people, the reason why they say that is because, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, sometimes in his teaching, he will make comments like, I do not aspire to be reborn in the Pure Land. I want to be reborn in such an imperfect world to accomplish the purposes of ascension beings. It is not my aspiration to be reborn in Pure Land. So because of this, some people then say, oh, it is not possible for us to be reborn in Pure Land.
갈진 가지 체비스기 뒤튕겨를 줄샤로 딘디지 여바이나 아니 나이네 나저이네다 다신을 뒤체에 매다 로아 딜레펜도 체기로 왔다 수수기 딘디기 니버지에나.
What is important is we need to look at our own situation. So take His Holiness for example. He is one person where he will not be affected by whatever difficulties that he encounter. He has said before that whatever difficulties that I encounter, that is actually a cause for me to increase the strength, my mental strength. And other than him just, it's not just mere words that he has said. It is obvious, we can see that he is also practicing such a mental strength whenever he comes across difficulties. So he is one person who is able to transform those opposing conditions into favorable conditions for his practice. If I were like him, then of course there's no need for me to be reborn in Pure Land.
제자다 가수그래 정군을 무치기 차치 대외 미지 간디슈니 대외 미세요 순수가를 간디슈비가를 뒤송소 다신을 깨시니 자침부지에 다신을 깨버다 타바레스 깨지시고 말레스 산제 고마스는 다신들이 룽고지부제 텔레케나 산제 깨지 딜란 노르버레스 다오나 가르레스는 다신을 깨나 쉬러도 남지 쉬러도 신다 민자오지요 인상 교보 산제 되게 깨지 딜레스.
So there was one time during the teaching, one Taiwanese had asked His Holiness a question regarding Pure Land, and His Holiness had said that to be reborn in Pure Land, some people have the misconception that once you are reborn in Pure Land, you have achieved liberation, you have achieved the state of Buddhahood. But it is not like that. What it means when you are reborn in Pure Land is that you will have the kind of favorable conditions for you to practice such that you can achieve liberation and the state of Buddhahood.
Machine yang kashi dakshin sini bege sukhom gi la nang sin samlo kho ding de yong do tin mare do ni ge nang lo la la da mi yo ba so re la yo re mi yo re zhuo xin da yo mare.
Some people, when they think about Pure Land, they think that in Pure Land there are only the devas from the form realms. It is not like that. In both the sutras, it has been stated that there are both human and devas in the Pure Lands. But other than these two, human and devas, there are no other beings from the other realms.
아니 가시기 양 파게 레나 아니 단단 어준 남지 빼잖아 디용 거를 탈레제나 아니 빼 기부체 엔디 딜라 가수리 앵니 최체 두고 말했어 어디 리버디 링제 당제다 다신라 기부 연상 아니 최체 두고 말했어 니 중계 말했어 어디데 삼로 공연인데도.
And then some people, they think that if you're reborn in Pure Land, you know how we say that if you're reborn as a deity, as a deva, we will be so happy. The deities and devas, they are so happy, enjoying the joy that they have. They cannot practice the Dharma. So they think that people who are born in the Pure Land are like the deities in the heavenly realms. And therefore, in Pure Land, it is not possible for us to generate genuine renunciation.
디 딘디 벽에 딘디기 균요 말에 가르스나 단다 라버도 대화제이나 게만타네 안능고 생각 요버시기도 도나나.
This is not a fault. There's no fault in such thinking like if you are reborn in Pure Land, you'll be so happy such that you cannot practice the Dharma. Why? Because especially it's spoken that in Sukhavati, once you're reborn in Sukhavati, you will have the 5 clairvoyances.
초진의 이 구류 참마 최징이 이버드 찍제. 초진의 소소롱 생각 요바 인정원의 지정 것이 요나 수익자와 아마 가리 뭐 딩아마 이 참마다 전투고 알아.
So on one hand, you have got a very good environment where everyone around you are practicing the Dharma. On the other hand, because of the clairvoyances that you have, you are able to recall your past lives and what happens in your past lives.
지대 감신다기 다 동해도 저 참마 무슨도 또 두고 알아.
And you are able to directly see the sufferings that people are going through in the other worlds.
딜라도 이중께 모티비 용사 말해.
Therefore, I don't think it is not possible for someone who is born in Sukhavati to not possible to generate the mind of renunciation in them.
어디나 신지 양 가시게 엔다 신레제나 다 신디 미상마 야고제 엔 신디제라고 말했어. 딘들라이도 삼기도.
I think there are some people who say, if you are reborn in Pure Land, you don't get the opportunities to benefit other people because in Pure Land, everyone are so good and perfect in the behaviors. There's no opportunity to practice and to benefit others.
돈 이게 나올라. 다신기 단도 돈이 유변은 이게 나올라. 다신데 깨네 아니 롭종 체제 롭종다 템퍼체 명인다 딘디기 시럽 야고지 디 롭종 야고차 디간랑 원시 주주기 토네 지대금 신다도 졸라 산제주도 취슈화신 지대금 신다기 심정이 되체 양랑자 수 다신의 수 로용 딘디 송여.
But in both sutras, what has been said is that once you're reborn in the Pure Land, you're able to study and you're able to then generate the wisdom arising from a study. And not only that, you have got the clairvoyance, you also have the miraculous power. And therefore, you are able to travel to other Buddha lands to receive teachings from other Buddhists. And you are also able to travel to other Buddha lands to benefit other sentient beings.
제상 가시고래 단대 대화진기 도다 남주 용자 예딩이 디낭로라 뉴르도 심지 탐제라 펜버 주비 톱터 자위실 대화진도 제버레스 디소.
So in the Amitabha Sutra, it has been said that in order for you to quickly benefit sentient beings, you need to be reborn in Sukhavati.
제상다 디발라다 인내당 하고 메디 버유저버딘디나 아니 루바교버화.
I'm not very sure about the situation here, but in Nepal, most people are very poor.
제상다 수수기 파마다 년생의 제와치니 따따도 지긴이라네 룸바 다가랑라 대제 아니 칼레타니야 로바체 디디에 요레.
And so, for the sake of the love we have for our parents and also our relatives, so there are some people who choose to stay behind in the village to help them.
다 리지 아니 지게디와 조지 레가지가 조 아니 무이츠 땅 다 균도 칠레데데 요마르와 땅의 땅에 요래 공생을 용해 요래 딘디기 아니 로바칭이 요래.
But there's another type where they go to, they will go overseas to work and then they will send the money back home. So even though they are not staying at home all the time, but they do come back for holidays and they send money back to help the family. So for both types of people, they are helping their relatives and friends, right?
바유랑 나로라 소소 중부여 신유 토보여 우리 마사야보여나 바유랑 되니 주소도 그래.
Especially if it's someone who is very smart, who is very capable, then you just need to stay within Nepal itself, work, do business or whatever that is within your capability. It is possible for you to become rich by staying in Nepal itself.
marza me she me tenji bayuna na zewa chini da chile de samma do phage kange yone kange ngune se thu go marwa.
But if you're someone who does not have the kind of capability, and you do not have the kind of capability, so what if you stay behind, with a family? You're just staying next to them, beside them. You are not really able to help them to overcome the difficulties that they have.
Dile phage chige de ba tune lo khashi che lo ngui ta je khangba me sa la khangba jaw ro ba ya thu che tu gu do.
So instead of just staying behind, then you can consider going overseas to work, and then you send the money back. And by sending the money back home, you are actually helping your family in terms of overcoming the difficulties.
This sort of thing, also, today come Tagaran la tene, Susu Nam Ju, Zundu, Tama Yuna, Sonam Shuchimbu, Dindi Yuna, Tagaran la tene, any shipping Kachimuche to Europe, and the Jamgon Machinashi.
So, in a similar fashion, if we are someone with the intellectual capacity, we have the kind of merits, so we can stay behind in this Zambuling to help others, to benefit others, just like what His Holiness the Dalai Lama is doing.
Tindi Mengi Kiwajama Tagara Yoni, Shimbeji, Lamne, Simgi Zewa Zamremato, Muyuni Sula Chetuya Yamarwa.
But if not such a person who possesses that kind of capability and merits, so what if you aspire to come back to be reborn in Zambuling again and again? You are not able to benefit and help others. It's really what you have is only the love you have for them. But are you able to really help them? You can't.
That part journey any shine wish to do top and two young Jessim doing chair, Dogoranal, Tendisungur.
So therefore, you need to go to the Pure Land to be endowed with the clairvoyance and miraculous powers, and then come back here to help the sentient beings. So this is what is being spoken in the sutra. So in the King of Aspiration, the last bit where there's some dedication verses, those dedication verses have been spoken by the Buddha.
진짜 디나로라 가리송도 세나 아니 시갈라모다 외밤에 제제 대화진도 제제 대화진도 제네 다 산제 외밤에 다 롱데네 다 소소기 시랍다 탑다 시럽이 니버 야 야보 차용도 아니 산제 있다 마호만 수수 산제 땡케 용도 아니 산제 롱데 난거 알아 뒤지 뒤지를 주나 산제 그랬어 오케이 딜러 때네 and so the tulba mambu tule da unche da zuri thayon de telate ne ani simje la ani tiche gi dio sungudwa.
So if you have the prayer text with you, it's on page 301 verse 59 and verse 60. These are the two dedication verses that Geshe was talking about, and these dedication verses have been spoken by the Buddha himself. Basically, in essence, what these verses are saying is that you aspire to be born in Sukhavati to receive a prediction of your full awakening, meaning Buddhahood, directly from Amitabha Buddha. And once you have received the prediction, then may you then be able to benefit all sentient beings. Yeah. So do you have any questions now?
Labordo tashindan teni matewa khari yone samangi tiwa samangi le japtugo ekechete mende khari yone tiwa tangshana ngazu yangjo shenbadi ma shenbadi yangjo shimchu che gi ti chadorwa.
Especially if you have questions relating to Pure Land, it would be good if you can pose the questions. I may not know all the answers to your questions, but I think it is good for us to engage in some discussions so that we can deepen our understanding in terms of Pure Land. So I have some questions passed to me on a piece of paper. I will post that to Geshe now. Okay, the first question would be, do beings who are reborn in Pure Land have to be reborn in samsara after the lifespan ends in Buddha's Pure Land? Okay, tiwa jik dire. Semjen denso tashin la ge chan ne kunzo la do krwa la ge a yorabes kesi tashin ki che zog bagina kunzo la do krwa la ge a yorabes.
다신 대기 라바나 신치기 대화제이나 테메 람로 슈나 세다가랑라 타바타베 차브레 데르도 코아키에 요마레 티제 람도 슈바이나 세다가랑 디주토딜라 산제레 수 도헤메레 어디송레 대화제이나
If it is Sukhavati, it has been spoken that if you are a Theravada practitioner or practitioner of the lesser vehicle, in this life itself, you will definitely attain liberation. If you are a practitioner of the Mahayana, in this life itself, at the end of your life, you will definitely attain Buddhahood. It is not possible for you to go through a regression state.
당원버가 위신감이나 이랑게 람로 슈나 세다가랑 타바타베 잡제 다 대제 람도 슈나 세다가랑 주도딜라 산제비 잡아 숨겨요 말 이니 개와 랭게레디 레다 뉴몽기 개와 레 정신 파보 탑사나 정주심비 통론 탑사수나 레다 뉴몽기 개와 레디 요 말에 니지도 면함기 코와 개와 레바 요래
For Abhirati, if you are a hearer or the Prayaka Buddha vehicle, then in this life itself, you will attain liberation. If you are belonging to the Mahayana vehicle, then it is not spoken that you will attain Buddhahood in this life. Definitely. It is not specifically spoken that you will definitely attain Buddhahood. But if you are a bodhisattva, an Arya bodhisattva, then you do not attain rebirth under the influence of karma and afflictive emotions. You take rebirth out of aspirations and compassions for others. Okay, so that is the answer. So I have another question here. It says, is it confirmed that one will definitely achieve liberation and Buddhahood during his time at Pureland? If yes, then why did Buddha not just taught this method only? Okay. Tiba dire. Cedila. Kesi tashin laki baina. Cedila. Nge partu tarpa thang sange go bang top ya kyap ki rebes. Cedila kyap ki rebes. Kesi ina ni kare chene sange jomden degi tapshi shemba tapshi delay shemba tapshi mambo sung yore.
Tapshi tashin ni jele shembi taba. Tapshi.
Nganto nyamden chea di tarpa thang sange go bang top ya ki tapshi mambo yora. 지상 계속 다신하게 바이나 세텔라 예발도 탈바탕 다신게 상계가 탑 루기레스 지상 계속 탈바탕 상계가 탑 거기에나 세텔라 탑게 있나 아니 가르치니 상계 좀 되는게 탑신 딜레이 셴바 탈바탕 상계가 탑하게 다시 만보 송여래
다다기 라바나신 아니 개와디 주도도 다신데 깨나 타바다 당신이 타고요나 다시 인지미지 구고야 개민도
구고야
저 주도 때문에 저와 딜렀다 타바든지 뭐 죽음에스 딜러도 야다요 말와 다디
게라고서 마서
저와 제마딜라 다 다신을 제나 저와 제마 다 생기 좀 내디 다신께 지부지 손나 다 제딜라 타바든지 뭐 더요 말와 점불링 딜라 저디 인지미지 구고야 개민도 왔어 다신라 제 다가로는 주투에는 주마 툼나는 신의 기진이 버들라 아니 겨와지마 무티는 줘야들라 다신께지 시거봐.
So I've said earlier on that at the end of your life in the Pure Land, once we are reborn there, at the end of your life in Pure Land, it's definite that you will attain liberation and the state of Buddhahood. But do we need to wait until next life to attain liberation and Buddhahood? It is also possible for us to attain liberation and Buddhahood in this life. So that's why the Buddha does not just speak about the Pure Land practice.
마세 원조이나 코와 관련을 기부예고 통인상 다 중내되기 등해를 순고하래 원조 사직이 대화디 템바시 송은대로와 원조기 디 대화랑 통인상 코와를 탐대 거래 기고 말와 kisi thardu test theje khon thana samba tes yue ding in dizege ding ni me injang khoni ta chik peze athar mathar tago amarwa ta one ni jung ke sange dizege denshi namsha di khane sheba samai bo ratre ding ji zongkhang ne ta thardu so che bar ngi bi ta zongkhang ne thardu na shin chi gi khwa ne thardu lo je ngorwa dile du ta chema bo du gu tin de le le amar jungna tarina thabo thamna di ma jungna ane tawa di ma jung di tenyer shukchimbo je yonde dilaba betashi sungurwa.
So for a lot of us, we look at the samsara, we see it as a very happy place, even though the Buddha has specifically said in his Four Noble Truths teaching that this samsara is suffering, is in the nature of suffering. So because we see samsara as a happy place, there are many of us who do not even have the desire to want to be liberated from this samsara. Say, assuming you do have the desire to want to be liberated, but your desire may not be from the depth of your heart where you have a very strong conviction. So if you look at the teachings of the Four Noble Truths, you will see that actually, if you are able to rely on the teachings of Four Noble Truths and see this samsara as in the nature of suffering, as a prison, then you want to quickly be freed from this prison. You be freed from this samsara because you don't want to go through the gallows of death. So if that's the case, if you really have such strong desire to be freed from the prison this life, then you don't have to wait until the next life to be liberated, right? You will do whatever you can now to be liberated from this prison, from this samsara now.
아니 대화진 레케바 당 거라 다랑 타바 타주르 산제주르 기제디 시고말 파겔레스비 젤레 롭종 다랑 제고 다음에 뭐 롭종 제네마도 타바 타투예요 말에 전주심 롭종 마제발라 냠레 마제발라 산제고마 타투예요 말에 딜레도 딘디 롭종 제치도 파게 조기 생이지기 단다 고고 라디오산에 마제나 다 계지로 왔다데
If you are reborn in Sukhavati, it doesn't mean that the minute you're reborn there, you are liberated. It's not like that. Once you're reborn there, you still need to study. Still need to learn. What do you need to learn? You need to study about selflessness. You need to study about bodhicitta. So if you need to study this and without the view of the understanding of emptiness and without bodhicitta, it is not possible for us to attain Buddhahood. So if you know that these are the things you need to study for the sake of attaining Buddhahood, and if in this life now you have the opportunity to study, and you say, I don't want to study, I'll wait until I go Pureland and study, that's really a big lie you're saying, right?
아니 베나다 타바타송진이 대화진도 제 상해지 있네. 베나다 어저저부지 대화진이 제바이나. 다 디네 순데 동네는 요해메 타바토베 땡케와 인서 So
let's assume that someone is reborn in the in Sukhavati. So when you are there will be no sufferings or suffering, and it is confirmed, definite that you will attain liberation. So basically, you can just sit back and relax, right?
이네 태생이 남로 슝행지이나 정주선배 남로 슝행지이나 기지직내라 상제나 저거 상제바이나 기지직 심진 동에디 저거 스캡투고알 딜라디잔다 심진 디기디 수수기부 연에 심진 디기디 강에기 미스버 슉충 시부여디 족부 디기디 짜고 그래 딜레 족부 산제고들 흘려진 대기디 요말 니지심부 줄에 제상에 두서기 다 닝지에 매 니중에 매지네 늘래 기제들레 오로
But for those who are of the Mahayanist practitioners, so for the Mahayanist practitioners, they are actually residing on the path with bodhicitta. So when they have such bodhicitta, if they are able to attain Buddhahood 1 minute earlier, that means that they are able to benefit sentient beings and help sentient beings 1 minute earlier. So they will definitely aspire to quickly, as fast as possible, to attain Buddhahood. They will not just sit back and relax and not do anything. They will do what they can because can't bear when they see sentient beings suffering. So they will quickly, as fast as possible to attain Buddhahood. But if you do not have the mind of renunciation and you do not have compassion, then yes, it's possible for you just sit back and relax and not do anything. Well, generally in this world, Zambuling, there is one special characteristics. Say for example, in Sukhavati, whether there's Tantra there or whether there's no Tantra there, we're not able to conclude definitely. But in this world, Zambuling, we know that there's Tantra. So if we are able to practice Tantra, then yeah. But if you do not have the mind of renunciation, you don't have bodhicitta, you do not have compassion, and you do not have the view of emptiness, then the tantric practice you are practicing is really fake. So it is said that in Pureland, the merits that you accumulate over many days, right? Compared to the merits you accumulate in Pureland over many days, the merits that accumulate in Zambuling this world in one day is more than the many days of merits that accumulate in Pureland. So we need to accumulate a great sort of merits, and one of the practice we need to engage in is the 6 parameters. But if you are in Pureland, we do not really have the opportunity to practice the parameter of forbearance. But in this world, Zambuling, there are many people who harms us. So it gives you the great opportunity to accumulate a lot of merits when it comes to practicing your forbearance. So by using this logic, sometimes I consult myself in this way. Why do I say that? Because last time when I was a student, I have many friends, right? We are all from the same class, my classmates. Many of them have become great scholars, but I am not one of them because I've been sick. Why? Because for them, it's easy for them to study because they have good health. But for me, because I'm sick, it is very difficult. It was very difficult for me to study. So I think because, I put in so much effort despite my sickness to study, I think I accumulate more merits than them. Yeah. What I've just said is not something that is not supported. I do have, a support for that. So the Buddha has spoken that compared to you observing the precepts in the ancient times, the merits that you accumulate by observing precepts these days will be more. Yeah, so because of that, then some people then say, oh, then it's better for me to be reborn in Zambuling, this world. So if that's the case, using the logic from the logic we had previously, then instead of practicing Dharma in a place where Dharma is flourishing, then you should be aspiring to practice in a place where Dharma is very rare.
지선 상당한 된지 토네 교와지마 아니 점물린의 제고들라나 점물린들의 제월쇼 최면설의 제월쇼 나월쇼 아니 다단들의 제월쇼 라고 지기로 하다디.
So if that's the case, you should then aspire in this way. In my future life, may I be reborn in Zambuling, and in Zambuling, may I be born in a place where I do not meet the Dharma, and may I be born with a lot of sicknesses, and may I be born where I meet a lot of enemies who will harm me.
지선 뒤tig미도.
So if you think of this way, that logic is flawed, yeah?
지선 딜 간지 추dom잡나 되기 라바나시 수수이 닝도 쉬우지 여딩에지라 가수강의 태비 최기디 람라키 온도잖아 초델라도 저도고 알바다. 다 딘디 맹해지라 아니 자제 아니 뒤테나 아니 도로 돼봐도 야모요해요 마로.
So therefore, like what I spoken earlier, we need to look at our own situation. If you are someone with very strong mental strength, then yes, whatever negative conditions that you encounter, you are able to transform them into the path of practice. And in doing that, you will accumulate great amounts of merits. But if not such a person, if you are a person who, when met with difficulties, you tend to be discouraged, you tend to give up, then you will just become worse and worse if you are reborn in world Zambuling.
간데 마시다기 랍차레 지진의 현수 신기 위기를 경고를 무시기 띠 배쇼를 왔다. 배차서 쇼네다 다 추도 전화마도 다 큐네레사 마리스에 참들라. 추도 배가 남은들라 개동버시나. 개동버슈 가시실로네 띠와들 슈찌니 와들 띠지어. 리기부 쥐뽀버 쥐시 세세지. 어디 가도들 참샤제 아니 추페나.
So I've spoken briefly just now, and some of you may already know as well. But basically, His Holiness, when he lost Tibet, he has no choice but to leave Tibet. So at the point of him leaving Tibet to go elsewhere, he actually read the 8,000 verses of Prajna Paramita, and he read a few pieces of that text, and at this particular point where the Buddha has said, "Son of the lineage, be strong, arise confidence in yourself." So at that point he stopped and he left Tibet.
제가 수수요 고사 쇼르 산제 이템바기 디즈페데 다이견 쇼르 룽보 쇼르 다 베데 정시 자베기 제 잠들레디 양조닝도 싸우지 저저잡지 다 배서마세 전물리 용조를 라파이 베게 디치기 펜바지 얘기 야 닝도치 싸우지 저 딘디이나 지기도 마다비 싱로 때도 지기도.
So for someone like His Holiness, he has lost his country, he has lost Tibet, yeah, but he is able to arise some special mental strength in himself, such that it's not just Tibet itself. He's able to go out and reach out to the entire world, right? What he's doing now. So if you're such a person with such great mental strength, then it's okay. You don't need to go to Pureland. You can come back to this imperfect world. Yeah, so we shall end here tonight. And let's do our dedication by reciting the dedication verses just now on page 301, and it will be verses 59 and 60.
다신 되버여나 소소말한테제 되버면나 되버여는 듣게 오셔서말 잡지를
가와 게셔.
다신 개월 기회면나 로하던다.
디스 도바이나 닉게 와셔서 메나?
소소 되버면나 양 견도 용의 신다도 듣게 오셔라.
So if you have the desire to be reborn in Pure Land, then you can recite these verses and aspire to be reborn in Pure Land. But if you do not have the aspiration to be reborn in Pure Land, then you can aspire for the rest who have the desire to be reborn in Pure Land. Okay, let's do it together. Born from an extremely beautiful superlative lotus in this joyful land, the Buddha's magnificent mandala, may I receive a prediction of my awakening directly from the Buddha Amitabha. Having received a prediction there, may I create vast benefits for beings throughout the 10 directions with 1 billion emanations by the power of wisdom. Yeah, so we will. Sumba. So there will be part 2 of this Pureland teaching tomorrow from 3 to 5 p.m. in this same place.
당다 시사조를 지워요나 디당 디나 신지기다 원수기시 때 대화진다 오버가 신감을 끼고요나 인기 투구를 베스 세치 인기시기 투구요나 딱게라 안 탑시 가르쳐 보레스 다 지당도다 두슬레르와 박인남주 제등이지나 거래 거 말레스 안 그거요나 디 그거요바 이내야 투의 명이지나 디요 말와 투구를 말레스 안 투기여레 거바도 투바니 땡케나 안시네 다오나 간데스게 오래 답시 가르쳐 오래 했어야 돼.
So for tomorrow, maybe what you can go.
Yeah.
So maybe what you can do for today or tomorrow before you come for the class is to think and reflect. Is there a need for yourself to be born in Pureland? And if there is such a need, is it possible? Can we be reborn in Pureland? And if assuming that there is a need and we can be reborn in Pureland, then what are the methods that we need to engage in to be reborn in Pureland? So you can reflect in this manner.